Tzu Chi volunteers celebrate the 95th anniversary of the Puming Temple in Hualien, Taiwan. Through a TCM point of view, we find out why cold beverages should be consumed in moderation. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shoda. Thank you for joining us. In Hualien, Taiwan, Puming Temple is where Master Zhen Yan cultivated herself before founding the Tzu Chi Foundation. The temple recently celebrated its 95th anniversary. To honor the occasion, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to decorate the venue and cook vegetarian food for all the guests.
The beating of gongs and drums resonates at the celebration of the 95th anniversary of Puming Temple. 95 years ago, a person from Japan enshrined and worshipped the earth treasury Bodhisattva at Puming Temple. Now his descendants came to join the celebration.
I'm very happy. I sincerely congratulate them. I'm very respectful to the large number of people who have come here to join the celebration.
Besides the revered Buddhist monks and nuns, the county magistrate has also come to join the celebration.
May the century-old temple continue for generations to come. May the teachings of the treasury Bodhisattva continue to awaken people.
Back in 1963, after Master Zhen Yan moved to Hualien, she cultivated herself at the Puming Temple. With such a deep affinity for this temple, Tzu Chi volunteers have mobilized to set up the venue and cook for everyone.
The tangyuan symbolizes the success of the Puming Temple, while the red tortoise cake means the temple will continue to pass on Buddhist teachings.
Having witnessed the development of Tzu Chi, Puming Temple will continue to spread Buddhist teachings and great love to the public.
Switching our focus to China, Tzu Chi volunteers starting from July 2nd launched a disaster relief program in response to the flooding situation in Hunan's Changsha. The pace of care and compassion has not stopped, though affected villagers have begun to return home. To help them through this difficult time, Tzu Chi volunteers held an aid distribution for 307 families, distributing more than 400 sets of Jingsi folding beds and blankets.
Jingsi folding beds are unloaded off this truck and moved to the plaza in front of the Taogong Palace. Despite the more than 30 degrees Celsius heat, everyone contributes to this effort, especially one volunteer, Li Chang, who is particularly energetic.
If there's any way I can help, I'll do it. If I can offer a hand, I will. If I'm riding a bus and I see an elderly woman, I'll give her my seat. This is what we ought to do.
From the end of June to early July, continuous heavy rain resulted in a number of villages experiencing serious flooding in Changsha. Volunteers have aided these villages for the past half month. Now, Tzu Chi has held its first major aid distribution since the flooding. More than 150 volunteers turned out. In addition to local volunteers from Changsha, there were those from Taiwan, Suzhou, Nanjing, Kunshan, Shanghai, Dongguan, Guangzhou, and other areas. Tzu Chi provided support for 307 families, distributing 400 sets, which included Jingsi folding beds and blankets.
Changsha brothers and sisters are really useful as many people combined. For the past dozen days, the work that they have done has been incredible.
In the past, we donated bread and I was really touched. Tzu Chi volunteers were the first to come and help others.
After this aid distribution, Tzu Chi volunteers made home visits to nearby residents, instructing people how to use these Jingsi folding beds, as well as promising to accompany these villages in the future as Tzu Chi's love has taken root in Changsha.
More on international aid relief, Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines continue to assist quake victims. They visited Barangay Gaas and gave out 216 portions of rice and Jingsi folding beds. The portable beds were a godsend as many of the residents have just been sleeping on mats, which easily gets wet when it rains. With the beds in their possession, the quake victims can finally get a good night's sleep. As the vehicle is stuck in the muddy road, Tzu Chi volunteer Michael Xiao carefully navigates through the difficult condition as the cliff lies just beyond the road. The volunteers travel for about an hour to reach the shelter at Barangay Grass, where approximately 168 households are temporarily staying at. In each tent, about 7 or 8 families are squeezed in together. There is neither clean water nor electricity here, on top of which residents must still bear the brunt of the weather. This man is trying to build a platform for his family as it's currently the rainy season in the Philippines and practically the entire ground of the shelter is soaked in floodwaters. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers brought rice and folding beds to distribute.
It's difficult sleeping here. We have a lot of kids, and we all sleep in this one tent. As long as the children have a place to sleep, the adults don't matter as much.
基本上他住在这个像这个草棚上，他一下雨啊。
Basically, they are sleeping on straw mats on the ground, which become wet when it rains. After receiving the Jingsa folding bed, they are very happy, as they know they will get a good night's sleep tonight.
While
Tzu Chi helps to provide a bed for the victims, a local Philippines NGO have brought solar-powered lights for the residents.
Because a lot of the areas actually don't have electricity yet, so at least at nighttime, the places are lighted and it's just more safer for everybody.
Throughout the senseless disaster, love continues to envelop the victims of the quake. Besides handing out rice and folding beds to the quake victims in the Philippines, on the 16th of July, a truck filled with Tzu Chi's eco-friendly blankets and second-hand clothing arrived in Ormoc from Cebu. To help unload the cartons, a group of volunteers from DaAi village eagerly helped. Bright and early this morning, Tzu Chi volunteers are busy moving the blankets as second-hand clothes off the truck and into the warehouse for safekeeping. Amongst the volunteers, many are young volunteers who have received Tzu Chi's financial scholarship in the past. 15-year-old Marhun Luaya is very grateful for Tzu Chi's assistance in the past. In the immediate aftermath of the earthquake, he knew he must do his part to help.
I am in debt to the Tzu Chi Foundation. If it wasn't for them, my family wouldn't be living here. This is a test given to us by the heavens, and if it wasn't for Tzu Chi or the wonderful volunteers, we wouldn't be here.
Luaya lives at the DaAi village along with his family, and the marketplace they have opened is suitable for the family to make a living. Meanwhile, Rose Kapukao also lives in the village with her 7 children.
Tzu Chi assisted me to give my children a good life and help me make money to live. After my husband left us, it's all I can do to provide for my children.
Kapukao is now giving back what she can by passing the love forward, as there are more people out there that needs assistance.
Tzu Chi never left us, from Typhoon Hualien and now the earthquake. I don't regret being a volunteer because we need to help others too.
The executive yuan announced it would spend $13.95 billion for light rail and MRT construction. leading counties and cities to immediately draft up plans to take advantage of the program. Proposed plans now include over 60 different rail lines within Taiwan's 6 main cities. The total budget is $39.5 billion, covering some 1,000 kilometers of MRT. Experts say that while such infrastructure may be worthwhile, the expense of such construction may not justify its ultimate aim.
很快速啊，很便利啊，
可以节能减碳又省油钱，很不错。
This is 2008 when the Kaohsiung MRT opened to traffic and the general public's feelings for the Kaohsiung MRT operations after the first 10 years.
I don't take the MRT. It's far away from my home as I will have to ride a scooter over there.
骑车过去。
Track construction, a symbol of a city's progress, is something that many municipal governments are ready to spend money on. However, when building an MRT, one should think about how much benefit it brings to the city.
我上下班的交通工具。
My commute to work basically involves riding a scooter. I don't take the MRT because it takes too much time.
好花时间啊。
The fare is too high as a round trip costs $2, and with this amount of money, I can operate my motorcycle for 3 days.
Calculating the cost may lead some to take private transportation. Looking at data regarding monthly Kaohsiung MRT traffic from 2008 to 2017, the number of people traveling rose from 3 to 5.8 million, which is a slow increase. However, this number indicates that only 7.9% of the population takes public transport, with the majority of people still taking their own vehicles to work.
Daily traffic for citizens during rush hour is about 21 minutes. Scooters are convenient to park. Currently, Kaohsiung City has about 1.9 to 2 million scooters and motorcycles registered.
Taking a look at the Taipei MRT, the network of lines is already quite developed, though some scholars say that only 37% of the population lives within the MRT network.
Whether it is leaving home to go to work or to go to school, if your starting point is near an MRT line, then they will use the MRT system, which are part of your everyday life, including food and entertainment. Otherwise, if you live outside the system, there's no way for you to make full use of the MRT system.
However, the MRT or light rail transport needs a dedicated track, which leads to high costs for land acquisition and construction. The operating costs are also far higher than other means of transport. For this reason, such transport depends upon a high volume of traffic.
We are very clear about the cost inputs that are needed, as well as the fact that they are quite expensive. From our past experience, we have seen that the development of such lines into urban areas doesn't guarantee a sort of urban revival or development.
The Taipei MRT, for example, sees more than 2 million people a day travel on it, though for the past few years it continues to operate at a loss. The Kaohsiung MRT's red and orange lines, after 10 years of efforts, see current daily travel of only 180,000 people. From the original estimates, it is achieving less than half of the ridership of 440,000 that is needed to break even. If they add more lines, won't they just lose more money?
If Kaohsiung Public Transport doesn't undertake lots of education and training and supporting measures, and if local governments are reluctant to implement some restrictions on private transportation, then I'm rather pessimistic about the outlook for public transit. There's only limited public education and training about mass transit.
In recent years, the sharing economy has made use of technological advancements to provide more public transportation options. This means that investments in light rail and MRT may be too expensive and not needed and unnecessarily bear future generations with more debt.
Many people might enjoy cold beverages in the hot summer. However, cold drinks can actually lead to digestive problems. In addition, overloading on stark fruit juice and black tea can actually harm kidney functions. Let's find out more in our report.
To cool ourselves down during the hot summer, many people will consume cold beverages. However, Chinese medicine doctors remind people that cold beverage consumption can lead to digestive problems.
身体呢，就像这个热腾腾的机器一样。
Our body is like a hot machine. If cold beverages enter our body on a hot day, our blood vessels will contract, tightening up the intestines and stomach, causing digestive problems.
消化方面的一个问题。
Starfruit juice can quench thirst, but for some dialysis patients, consumption of starfruit juice can lead to poisoning of the central nervous system. Therefore, they should avoid drinking it. Most ordinary people should not drink too much starfruit juice either.
For people with normal kidney functions, if they consume too much starfruit juice, oxalic acid could accumulate in their kidneys, decreasing kidney functions. Therefore, one should not drink too much starfruit juice at once.
In the renowned New England Journal of Medicine, there was a case of a man who drank 4,000 cc of iced tea in a short period of time. Since his kidneys could not process the oxalic acid in the tea, he suffered acute kidney failure.
There's a lot of oxalic acid in black tea. If your body lacks water and you drink a large amount of black tea, the oxalic acid could accumulate in the kidneys, decreasing kidney functions.
Besides oxalic acid, sugar content in the beverages is another problem. The World Health Organization suggests that a 60-kilogram adult should consume just 4 to 5 sugar cubes a day. However, a Johnstown Foundation survey has shown that the sugar content in most reduced sugar drinks already exceeds a day's quota. This could lead to obesity, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, and high blood pressure and kidney disease. It can also affect children's concentration and make them addicted to sugar.
When we consume too much sugar, it will make our bodies secrete neurotransmitter, making us reliant on sugar. Therefore, one who consumes too much sugar can become addicted to it.
Many beverages also have other added ingredients, such as food coloring and preservatives. They cannot replace water. All in all, doctors suggest that we drink more water and less beverages to maintain good health.
In Myanmar, a 16-year-old girl, Tzu Chi, was diagnosed with scleroderma 3 years ago. Even though her parents had spent all of their savings seeking medical assistance everywhere, her skin disease did not improve. Tzu Chi volunteers have been providing this family with medical subsidies and have continued to care for them over the past 6 months. To reciprocate Tzu Chi's love, her mother has also joined Tzu Chi's rice donation event to help others less fortunate people.
16-year-old Tzu suffers from scleroderma. Her parents have spent 2 years taking her to seek medical assistance everywhere and have even spent all the savings of this family.
The doctor said that we have stopped follow-up checkups for 2 months, so our child's health condition has worsened. Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' assistance, they accompany us to take our daughter to receive treatment at a hospital, so that there's no threat to her life now.
Since December of 2016, Tzu Chi volunteers have started to contact this family. After understanding their difficulties, Tzu Chi has been providing them with medical subsidies and companionship over the past 6 months.
You should tell the bacteria in your body, we are good friends. Please let me grow up happily and do not torture me. When we took care of her, we encountered many difficulties. We also learned a lot from her. Because she is quite sensitive, we have to be careful every time we talk to her to avoid hurting her.
Although the girl has received treatment, her body function is gradually deteriorating, as she often has no appetite to eat. However, she always shows a smile on her face every time Tzu Chi volunteers visit her.
When she was hospitalized, Tzu Chi volunteers took care of her meticulously. She liked Tzu Chi volunteers very much. When volunteers come, she feels very happy, which makes her feel like her health condition has improved.
With the love and care of volunteers, this family has finally walked out of despair and sees hope in their life. To repay Tzu Chi's love, this girl's mother also joined Tzu Chi to save a handful of rice each day to help more people.
Moving back to Taiwan, a mother and son pair from Taichung's Dadu district has rented an old house and doesn't have the money to buy a second bed with their meager income. After learning the news, Hung San Charity Group collaborated with Taichung Security Commercial Union to help this family. They gave this family a new bed, allowing both to get a good night's rest.
This old house, which Mrs. Wu has rented for 11 years, is filled with clutter. Her poor health leads her disability to care for her house. Because she has no money to buy a bed and to save money on electric bill, this mother-son pair sleep on the single bed.
It was cold in winter, so I slept with my child, which also helped to save electricity. I don't think it was crowded. I've already gotten used to it.
53-year-old Mrs. Wu is from a low-income family. Her husband has passed away and she has undergone dialysis for many years, so she is unable to work. She and her 28-year-old son can only rely on his meager income to get by. Hung San Charity Group has recruited volunteers to clean and repair Mrs. Wu's home. Taichung Security Commercial Union has also mobilized more than 10 people to join this cleanup effort.
We usually pay more attention to Social Security. The security service personnel should not fall behind when it comes to participating in charity events.
All of the volunteers work together to help them clean the environment.
I am very grateful. You can see that the bed is deformed and we cannot afford to buy a new one.
Although it is very hot and all of the volunteers keep sweating, they endure the high temperature to help this family clean up their home. After receiving the new bed, Wu and her son can finally have a sound sleep.
Students always look forward to having their summer vacation, but for certain families with disabled children, the period becomes a difficult one, especially when both parents have to work and no one can look after the children. Thus, the K-World Computer Corporation's Social Welfare Foundation held a special camp for 23 disabled children at Zhongyuan Elementary School in Hualien City.
The teacher leads these disabled children to do warm-up. They are now playing with instruments. They cannot move in uniform, but music can help relax the children's muscles. Those college students who are there to help out with their special education background are very attentive.
Every student has a different personality. You must be strict with some students, but for some others, you only need to talk to them and they will understand.
To continue helping these children learn during the summertime and to give their parents a break, this is the 5th time for the K-World Computer Corporation Social Welfare Foundation to hold a special camp in Hualien.
We continue the courses taught in their school because we don't want them to forget courses such as living education, social adaptation, Chinese language, and communication difficulties.
The students follow their teachers closely, like a group of chicks following their hand. The foundation hopes these children can also enjoy their summer vacation through the camp activities.
At the end of the program, we join an assistant professor from National Taiwan University and 6 of our students studying in children's education as they visit Malaysia's Tzu Chi kindergarten on a 2-week study exchange. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.